Hi, I'm Shaun Lee-Chen, Simon Lee Artist in Residence and Chair of Violin at the UWA Conservatorium of Music. And here are my top 5 tips for string players. Tip number 1, scales. Now you've probably heard this one before, but practice your scales and arpeggios, single and double stops. These are the building blocks of our music, so it's super important to know them well as they're going to pop up in your repertoire all over the place. Use scales to stay engaged with your instruments. Unfortunately, all this here is like a blank canvas every morning, so we need to be reminded of where things are through repetition for our muscle memory, and scales are one of the best ways of doing that. Work on your right and left hands equally when you play scales to get maximum benefit from them. Virtually any aspect of playing a stringed instrument can be covered when combining scales and arpeggios with other technical drills. This is especially good when you're crunched for time. A little bit of scale practice every day will go a long way. Split it up, like on Monday do double stops, Tuesday 3 octave scales, and so on and so forth. Tip number 2, don't cram. You can't cram for your performance exam. There's nothing worse than a bunch of panic practice. Instead, you should practice consistently, and you can even keep a practice journal to track your progress. Write down your goals and keep a detailed record of how you go about reaching them. This is a really useful exercise because you can go back and sort of see how far you've come, and you can also figure out what practice techniques are personally most effective for you. Remember to break your practice up into small blocks so you can keep your concentration levels high and avoid potential injury. Tip number 3, practice slowly. Now that you're not cramming, you've got time to do some slow practice. Playing an instrument well requires lots and lots of quality repetition, and to achieve this, the majority of your practice should be slow and mindful in small sections. Remember to play with full expression in your slow practice and use maximum concentration. Also, always have a really sort of clear goal when you repeat something, because this is going to save you lots of time. This sort of practice builds accuracy and reliability and is much better than just mindlessly repeating something in the hope of getting it right. Most importantly, it's vital that you repeat something correctly more times than you repeat it wrong, because you don't want to embed the wrong thing. Of course, you have to eventually play things up to speed, but always work up to this incrementally. Tip number 4, sing. You should always try and sing everything you play from the very beginning of the learning process. Singing usually reveals a very natural way of phrasing that is unencumbered by the technique of playing your instrument. Hear it in your head, then try and replicate it on your instrument. Also, don't forget to breathe. String players are notorious for not breathing when they play, and this causes unnecessary tension all over the place. Instead, try and coordinate your breathing with the music so that you stay connected with the piece you play. Tip number 5, perform. Finally, don't forget to perform and practice performing. Be confident that you've done all the work and really enjoy yourself. Treat your exam like a concert performance. When you're on stage, express yourself like an actor would in a theatre. You might like to try playing in a space that's larger than you're used to emphasize projecting your sound and your musical thoughts. Most importantly, have fun, because playing a stringed instrument is totally the best thing.
Thanks for listening to this video. We'd love to see you in music if you're at UWA. You can take music as a major, or you can take it as a broadening student. Check out the list in the description below for the broadening units that we offer in music. We have ensembles such as orchestra, wind orchestra, jazz band. We have percussion ensembles and choirs, all sorts of ways in which you can engage with music. And we would love to see you in the music department if you're at UWA.